So how do we deal with line twist? We'll get into that in just a second. What a lot of times happens is people use the handle to close the bail. What that does every time is it rotates the bail and it puts a little quarter turn of twist into the line. Do that over a course of a day and you're putting hundreds of twists into the line and it can cause an issue. One of the ways to avoid that is to, instead of using the handle to close the bail, is you want to do it by hand. What you do is you make the cast and you fold the bail over. That way the line did not twist, the bail did not turn, you make your retrieve, and that avoids some of the line twist. The other thing that you can do is every time that you make a cast, you close the bail by hand, you give yourself a little tug that keeps the line tight on the spool and helps to avoid line twist. That will help make your day a little bit more efficient and cause less issues with line twist on the water. Another way to minimize line twist is to control the speed with which you retrieve a lure to make the next cast, especially with a rig like a drop shot rig, a tube jig, or something like that. What happens is when you've made your presentations, the faster you retrieve the lure, the more chance that lure has to spin on the retrieve. So if you control the cadence as opposed to burning that thing up to make the next cast, if you can control the speed with which you retrieve that lure, nice and steady, it brings the lure up in a straight position. It hangs instead of twirling, and that helps to minimize line twist. The faster you retrieve the lure, the more line twist you're going to have. Keeping it down, keeping the pace down, will help you keep line twist to a minimum. One of the things that you can do to minimize line twist is to make sure that your lures are properly rigged, especially when it comes to soft plastics. Anytime you get a lure that is rigged improperly, whether it's rigged off center or it's rigged with a little bit of a hook in the bait, you get a flop. Every time the lure falls, it rolls over, and that can create line twist. Making sure a Texas rigged soft plastic worm, a shaky head, or any of those kinds of things is rigged straight with as little turn in the bait as possible, as little bend in the bait as possible, will help you keep line twist down to a minimum. So rigging those lures straight is very, very important to minimizing line twist. There are techniques out there that the use of the quality swivel can help in minimizing line twist. Certain rigs like a drop shot rig or a floating worm with a swivel to a leader before the bait, those can be helpful. Also in spoon fishing, whether it's a vertical jigging spoon such as this or it's a flutter spoon like this one here. Where you put the swivel depends on the type of lure that you are using. On a vertical spoon, I like to put the swivel right on top of my split ring right here, and this becomes my line tie. What that helps to do is helps me keep one main line, and then the lure does its thing, and it avoids line twist in the line. The other one, like this flutter spoon, I want this lure to wobble as it falls, so I tend to tie a leader of a little bit smaller diameter here to my swivel and then tie it to the main line. What that does is it allows the lure to sashay as it falls through the water column, keeping the action of the lure. But a swivel can help keep the line from spinning as you're fishing. One of the most effective ways to combat line twist on the water is to use braided line as your main line. This Seaguar Smackdown 20-pound test flash green braid is very smooth, works very well on a spinning rod. What it doesn't do is allow you to present finesse tactics to the fish. So what I do is I use Seaguar's Gold Label. I tend to go 8-pound line when I'm doing drop shot. I'm throwing a shaky head or something like that, maybe a wacky rig stick bait. Those kinds of applications require fine line. You don't want the fish to see the line to impact your amount of bites that you get. So that's what I tend to do.